Hi there, I'm Jenoa.
Hi, I'm Mo.
We are here today having the sex talk.
The sex talk.
Today we wanted to talk about something that has been up a lot in the last year or two because of that book 50 Shades of Grey, introducing this whole idea of kinky sex and BDSM into normal American culture.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Mainstream.
So the question is, what is kink?
And that's an interesting question because I feel like we've been part of the kink community for a long time.
Sex positive kink.
Yeah, but in the 80s and 90s, being gay or lesbian or LGBT as they now call it, queer,
it was considered kinky.
It was considered kink.
So for a long time, I didn't like the word kinky, and I didn't like the idea of kink because in my sexuality is totally natural and normal. I also consider leather and all the different types of fetish and all those other things to be completely natural as well.
Right.
I have since gotten more into and embracing of the word kink.
Well, let's sort of define then what is kink, because it doesn't sound like being gay and lesbian is really considered kink anymore.
Not anymore. No. No.
It's more having to do with like leather,
non-vanilla sex.
So fetishes.
Fetishes, bondage. I mean, yeah, you can do some like light bondage, I think, and it's kind of vanilla, really. But
right. BDSM.
Domination, submission, role play.
BDSM, which stands for bondage, discipline, sadism, and masochism. I mean, basically what it is, sadism are people that like to inflict pain, physical or psychological, and masochists like to receive pain, either physical or psychological. Bondage and discipline is about power exchange or power play.
Who's in charge and what they're forcing the person not in charge to do. And some people really get off on being controlled in all these different ways. And then some people get off on controlling others.
Right. And I think that all falls under the umbrella that is kink.
So that's kink.
So I kind of think that kink is a little bit better. Like, people that are involved in the kink community are a little bit more aware.
Kink is way better than the kink community. They know exactly what they want. There are so many rules in the kink community because you are dealing with pain and inflicting pain and controlling people, and you know, you could actually hurt people with these things if you don't have all these rules and communication in place. So people in these communities, they know exactly what they like, what they're doing. There's all these agreements and respect.
It's sort of like an art of sexuality, and because they're so immersed into a community that's all about sexuality, they're more knowledgeable, and they're more aware, and they're constantly processing all the different dynamics that come up in sexual play. And therefore, like you said, with all the rules and everything, they're just a lot more conscientious about their needs and their partner's needs, as opposed to a person who just blindly gets into a sexual relationship because that's either what they're supposed to do, or it feels good and they're just sort of, you know, going with the flow because...
Or it's a side note to falling in love. Like, oh, I love him, so we're going to come together a lot, you know. Whereas in the kink community, it's very focused and specific and communicated and adored and elevated, and there's just...
And so, I mean, it's a great place to, and there's a lot of kink resources, especially in the cities where we live. I live in LA and she lives in San Francisco. So if you live in a big city, you can get involved in the community, and not because you want to do something kinky or you want to play BDSM or anything like that, but just to sort of surround yourself around more sex positive people, become more aware of the rules involved in sex. It's all about consent. And recognizing that, and I think that if you're just sort of going blindly into sex and relationships, that underlying factor of consent sometimes gets blurry. So really, the kink community is so focused on that. I think
the vanilla community could learn a lot from that, actually.
Absolutely.
And also in the kink world of voyeurism, it is perfectly okay to go to an event and just watch. So if you're interested but you're like don't know where to start, but you're interested in sort of public sex or kinky sex or sex acts, you can go to an event and just walk around and watch. It's totally safe.
Dungeons that have workshops.
Or you can hire a dominatrix to
right.
do whatever. You call them up and say, I'd like to try this.
Yeah.
And they will respect your limits. And it's there's complete boundaries on these type of relationships. Weird shit is going to happen if that's what you want.
Yeah. So Google BDSM in your town. Feel free to email us if you want more resources and we can point you in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
We're at info@thesextalkseries.com.
Yeah.
Or on Twitter.
Basically, get kinky.
Get kinky. We're all about it and you should be too.
Yeah, check it out.
Sex Talk.